Hello, welcome to Maximum Power video. I'm Paul. Today I'm going to be looking at a different magazine, one that I've just added to my collection, but not one that really discussed too much either on the show or in videos. It's basically one that I've been after for a while, and obviously I'll get to that in in a few minutes basically. I just want to cover something that I mentioned in the last video I did, looking at Zero magazine, just saying that when you had a preview issue for certain titles, by the time it actually got around to issue 1, sometimes the design of the magazine had changed, and like either way these score games or whatnot, page layout or some of the writers and things. So what I just want to have a quick look at is, bearing in mind I've mentioned this I think on a very early video, but I'm looking at one of the favourite magazines of my era, really. Not that many people are aware of it though, Games X. Now Games X was the only weekly magazine. I know back then, you have the CFAX pages before Digitizer came along, for your daily games news, but to actually have a physical games magazine weekly was quite a big deal. Now I remember this coming out when I was at primary school, and I had my Atari ST then, and it only lasted 48 weeks, so there's only 49 issues, including this preview issue, to actually buy, or try and find again really. There's myself and Paul Driscoll, the Drisk, from IGDS, who are big collectors of it. It's quite a challenge to track them all down really. Anyway, to the point, now I only own about 15 of these, which I'm quite happy with, because most of them in good condition, especially for the age, as because this was from about April 1991, so I said still at primary school back then, so you're going back quite a few years. And what I just want to point out is really the way how they review the games. So just get into actual review of here we go. We'll go for this one. We'll go for one of Phil's favourites here, Dick Tracy. Now Dick Tracy on the Mega Drive is a game I actually like. Look at this, they're giving it 5 out of 5 over here with 5 X's. Top marks. Who am I to disagree? I know that Phil's really not keen on this game. We've got into quite a few discussions over it, and it's still a game that I've got on my shelf of Mega Drive games, just in the top corner that I'm just pointing at. Hang on, that way, yeah. But what you do is, again, rate things by graphics, lastability, presentation, things like that. And what you got here is a dartboard, which is quite confusing to read. Well, obviously I understand, the scores on there and everything, but like the layout of it. Whereas something like this, where it's a couple of smaller reviews, as you can see, you just got 4 stars, 4 X's, 5 X's, and then marks out of 20. They did try to explain this a little bit more in this little bit. The scoring system explained, like where the dart lands and things like that, and my god, it's just hard work, for just seeing what score to give a game. Oh, I've just got to mention, Supercars 2, an absolutely fantastic game. However, I am getting to my main part of the show in a moment. By issue 1 of Games X, the reviews have changed. To just get to the first one, another one of my favourites here. Going to look at Hero Quest. Just hold that as still as I can. So again, they're explaining the scores here, and these little cartoony faces telling you what each reviewer thinks of it. And then over here we've got the gameplay, lastability, presentation, the systems and so on. It's like a lot neater setup really. I've absolutely loved that game, Hero Quest. But yeah, that's just one of the big things that stands out for me, because I remember getting that preview issue of Games X when I bought ST Action back then, because it was done by the same publishing company, who became Europress, who obviously did end up buying out quite a few different magazines, the early-ish 90s really. I'm not 100% how the deal went through, but I'm sure we bought Newsfield, who did oh god, like Crash, Zapper, Games Machine, a few others back then. And anyway, just getting to the main point now. Well, with Games X, as I said, 48 weeks it lasted for, so again it was really cheap as well. This is one of the later issues, well, the latest issue I've got, which is issue 44, and this one here is 75p, so you're thinking this really is pocket money. But around this time I absolutely love this magazine, and it was trying to go to covering more consoles and things like that, and it'd be advertising like other magazines from the same publisher, UST Action and Amiga Action and things. Now just quickly, I just saw an Amiga Action advert, there we go. So it was around this time that they started saying Games X is changing. There's something big coming. I was thinking, oh, okay, well, what's that going to be? Are they going to make it a monthly magazine? Are they going to change the design? It's been going for almost a year. Then they started advertising something new called GB Action. Now, around this time, the Game Boy was massive. Obviously, you had the Game Gear, you had the Lynx, but I think everyone just had like a Game Boy. Well, the majority of people had Game Boy if you had a handheld console, because obviously it had Tetris. The batteries lasted a lot longer, and I can only think back to have like one mate with a Game Gear and one mate who bought the Atari Lynx in on Toy Day at primary school, playing Chips Challenge. Big memory that's always stuck with me there, or on California Games as well. So although it looked nicer, it was all about the Game Boy. So they obviously were starting to advertise this new magazine, which is this, and this is the main point of the video. So here we have GB Action. Now, GB Action, done by Europress. First issue, 99p, so only 25p dearer than Games X. Is still cheap. The usual price will be £1.50, so still really cheap, really, for what it is. And this is something that I've got off eBay this week, and it's still got the supplement and the plastic bag from all these years on, well looked after. So just have a quick flick through the magazine. Now, like I say, it's in really good condition, so it's from like June 1992 now, so we're going back 25 years. I do remember buying this, because I had my Game Boy, as said. I remember getting my Game Boy for the first time, Tetris, F1 Race, and Metroid 2, although back then, still, even now, I'm not mad on the Metroid games, and I struggled with it then. But this was like quite a big deal, to have a Game Boy only magazine coming out. Now, GB Action only lasted up until mid-1995. 41 issues, just double checked, because I only bought it, I think, probably about 20 issues, something like that. And what I remember about this magazine is, and again, a lot of the Europress magazines from this era, a lot of them sold for like 99p. They tried to sell them at like 1.95, things like that, but they'd fall down to this 99p price point, sort of like Mega Action, Super Action, and a lot of them just faded away, as mentioned on the podcast so many times. A lot of magazines just disappeared, and then Europress eventually went under, so again that took away even more magazines for choice as a consumer. But as said, I think if a magazine was good enough, your Super Play, there we go, mentioned it, and also things like a Nintendo magazine system, ones that had the proper backing behind it, or it had something unique like Super Play. There we go again. They're the ones that tend to carry on and surge forward. Anyway, just have a quick look at GB Action. Now, GB Action has got the same staff as Games X. Now, I know it's not really well-known names, but when I've been having a look through all the Games X magazines, because this is based up in Stockport in Cheshire area, like quite close to where I am now, I had a quick look at on the internet before I did this video to see where their head office is. I think, hang on, is that the address down there? Yeah, that published address there, this Europa House. Didn't really get much information. Maybe it's worth having a look on Google Street Maps, you know, having a look at things like these old computer shops, or you know, some of the places where, like, you know, Paragon Publishing, for example, may have, you know, done stuff as well. But anyway, so having a look at this, the big feature really is Dream Machine, Nintendo's amazing colour Game Boy revealed. Now, I can't remember what year off the top of my head the Game Boy Color came out. I think it's about 1995, possibly. I guess. I know obviously you have a Super Game Boy for Super Nintendo, which did give you a few extra colours and stuff. So, let's have a quick look here. We've got the news straight away, and we've got an advert here from the company Elite. And one thing that I do like is this, where, hang on, we've got the address here, but just here it's saying write to us, tell us what machine you've got, and we'll send you obviously the literature. So, you know, quite involved there with the fans, you know, for keeping them updated. Now, here we go, the big feature, 2-page feature on the colour Game Boy, all you need to know. Now, this is obviously a few mocked up pictures and things like that. I have got a colour Game Boy, where is it? Reach this. Whoop. There we go. So, I don't know if there's a date on the back of this. 1998. So maybe I'm well off there. I've not got me proper dates to hand, so I'm sure, you know, I can double check that later. But anyway, it's saying here that someone has actually seen this Nintendo's prototype of a colour Game Boy. Maybe it was a case of a bit too advanced and they didn't really want to go down this colour route, you know, after looking at things like the links and the Game Gear. And it's like, which bit is it? Round about here. Hang on, sorry, round about here. They're saying that we saw this at Las Vegas in 1991. So you're thinking, right, if they did it then, you know, what was their actual, you know, working prototype? I know, you know, the big news was, you know, recently, you know, the PlayStation, you know, Nintendo hybrid type thing, you know, and obviously that's led to a lot of, you know, retro games chat and people thinking, well, we've now got a working prototype of it, you know, what could have been. So yeah, you do wonder what would have happened if a Nintendo you know, Game Boy Color had come out a lot earlier than what it did. But again, I look at it, I don't think it's something that was actually needed, you know. But anyway, looking on here, we have got the reviews main page, going through all the stuff, looking at the reviews. I don't know if anyone remembers these premium rate competition lines. There we go, just zoom out a little bit. Win loads of wrestling videos there. And as a kid, I had mates who had a lot of these. I just tended to borrow them off mates. I didn't actually own any of them when I was a kid back then. Speaking of wrestling, we have got WWF Superstars. And I remember actually borrowing this game off a mate at school. I think most of the magazines are going to, sorry, memories on this are going to be, you know, quite school orientated, you know, because again, having a Game Boy, you could take it to school, play it in the playground and things like that. And you gave that 77%. It's not a great game. I think it's one I've actually got though still. Just moving on a little bit, we have got an advert for Special Reserve. Now, Special Reserve, anyone who bought magazines back in the 80s and 90s will be aware of Special Reserve, and obviously tailored to the market there of handhelds. So we have got loads of Game Boy stuff. We've got the links down here at the bottom, I've also got the Game Gear over here. Just have a quick look at some of the prices. Game Gear with columns and a free mains adapter, in brackets the word essential. So, you know, it's quite worrying that when you think of a handheld, and that's £99.99. And then with the Atari Lynx 2, £85 with a free mains adapter and free special reserve membership. So, you know, it's not bad, but then you got the Game Boy there, 70 quid, you know, which says like Tetris goes with your 2-player lead, because I remember playing things like Tetris 2-player, I remember playing Double Dragon 2-player and stuff. And then again, you're still getting the free special reserve membership, saving you a few quid and stuff like that. So just moving on a little bit, we have got, this game is absolutely fantastic, Batman Return of the Joker, a really, really good Game Boy game. Spent quite a lot of time trying to play through that. There's a lot of good Batman games back then, you know, like on the home consoles. So I don't know if anyone's actually played that, but they end up giving that 83%. So they'd obviously done away with the 5 stars or 5 X's and just gone to actual percentages, but still rated the gameplay, lastability and presentation out of 10 instead of 20 this time. And then we have got a bit of a preview for Xenon 2 on the Game Boy, obviously. So with Xenon 2, it looks okay, you know, bearing in mind it's not, you know, going to be the biggest screen or anything like that. I've never actually played Xenon 2 on the Game Boy, so I can't really comment too much. And then on the page next to it, we just had a subscription page there offering a subscription for £15. Just moving on, just by a couple. Even back then, so we're going 25 years ago, we'd be bringing out retro games here. But obviously retro meaning like Missile Commander, your Space Invaders and stuff like that. We're giving that 76%. But I don't know, it's a funny one really, because with games being quite, we'll use the word primitive back then, would you really want to be spending like 20 quid on a game like that when you could have something like, for example, Batman that I just mentioned. I know when I was a kid what I'd want to go for. And then another one of my favourite games, we've got Speedball 2. Absolutely fantastic game, but again I can't really remember playing it on the Game Boy. What else have we got? A game called Ultra Golf. It's very, very sports orientated. Now, oh my god, I can't believe we bought this one out. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. That's really, really surprising really, that they tried to, you know, bring a game like that out on the Game Boy. I don't know, it's something that's just never actually appealed to me. I've played Terminator 2 on the, not the arcade version, I have played that, but one about Terminator 2 on Super Nintendo, which is like a scrolling platformer / shoot 'em up, which isn't a great game. And, well, they still gave it 84%, so one of the highest rated games actually in this issue. And then we've also got the game Hook, which is given 85%, based obviously on the Robin Williams film there. Again, never actually played any of the games on, you know, any console, just obviously seen the film. And then we have got more adverts and another competition to win a mountain bike, following some sort of a pattern home. What else have we got here? Just having a quick look. On this Video Game Centre advert there, Super Nintendo, including Super Mario World, you can either get the UK SNES or the USA one, £150, which isn't too bad really. Prices there, you're looking about 40 quid a game, you know, for your Pilot Wings and Top Gear and things like that. Although seeing Contra free at £45 actually isn't that bad nowadays. Moving on, something I absolutely loved as a kid, because I said I'm terrible at games, we have got the cheats pages. So again, nicely boxed out, you know, dead easy to read. Look for the game that you want and just, you know, put in the cheats for codes or whatever, you know. What else have we got now? Just having a look to the last couple. We've got a player's guide for Beetlejuice, based on the TV series. something I've not seen for a very long time, but I do remember watching it, but I don't remember too much about it. And then we've also got Player's Guide for Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So one thing that's jumped out from this, bear in mind I've not even showed the Addams Family review, is there's a lot of, film conversions in this first issue, definitely. Yeah, quite surprising. And again, this is one of the magazines that I mentioned. Well, I didn't mention, so I mentioned, I think, SNES Force, which originally was N-Force. So there we go, 99 pence opening offer there. Again, didn't really last too long because N-Force covered the Nintendo and Game Boy and SNES, and then I think it probably did about 6 or 7 issues, something like that, and then changed. And then we've also got some Tiny Toon Adventures stuff there, so quite a few players' guides. And then we also have a Q&A page, which I absolutely love reading. And then there's also, a questionnaire, which I always think is like really interesting. Like looking back at these, tell us what you think of the magazine. I know that Superplay did one, and Mean Machines and things like that. And it's just weird, like you have a look at, what they're asking nowadays. Like 20 odd years on. So it'd be like usual stuff like, how old are you? Are you male, female, or vegetable? Are you at school, a student, or working? So if it's really boring just reading out a questionnaire, I'm not going to read every question. Apart from your Game Boy, which other games machines do you own? Amiga, Atari ST, PC, Game Gear, Master System, Mega Drive, NES, Super NES, Amstrad, Spectrum, Commodore 64, Atari Lynx, and then other. And then like what other computer magazines do you buy? How do you feel GB Action compares to these? Which other non-computer magazines do you buy? Because obviously back then you had obviously all your comics and stuff. You had things like Match and Shoot, all sorts of stuff. And then where did you buy your Game Boy? How many games do you buy a month? Can't really see it being that much. I know they were cheaper than Super Nintendo games, but even still like 20-25 quid a pop. Not much of a choice here. What's your favourite type of game? Platform, strategy, shoot 'em up, or puzzle? And yeah, what accessories do you want for your Game Boy? What other topics should a magazine cover? What are your favourite bands and singers? And where do you buy your games from? And how do you find out about the latest games? Where do you play your Game Boy? Well, for me it was like school and on the toilet, like probably everyone did. And then how did you find about GB Action? Well, I think I've covered that personally through Game Sex magazine. And then it's rating each section of the magazine from like, good to poor. But anyway, sorry about that. Just basically go on and read out questionnaire questions. And then we have also got the classified adverts and also letters page as well. And then finally next month and an advert for Turtles. Just going to have a quick look just at the classified questions, because I was I always find it quite interesting just to see what people were selling back then. Game Boy, 5 games including Navy Seals, WWF, Double Dragon 2, battery pack, all leads, boxes, receipts, 4 months old, top condition, worth £200, only 140, and that's based over in Manchester, going off the old dialing code there. 061 back then, or 0161 as it is nowadays, and has been for about 20 odd years. And then what else? Swap my Game Boy Super Mario Land for nearly any other Game Boy game. Write to Jamie Stevens, 116 Abbots Road, Colchester. Don't know if he's still living there now. It'd be a bit random, wouldn't it, if he was and you just sent him out a letter, or someone just got it, opened it, it's like, what? And then Game Gear for sale includes battery pack, AC adapter and 4 games. Will sell for £150 a swap for a Lynx with 4 games and AC adapter. And then what else? Other handles for sale. Wanted Nintendo Game Boy will pay £50 up to £50, and yeah, there's just Wanted Game Boy willing to pay up to £45. See, I used to love looking at stuff like this, you know, when I was a kid, and looking in loot and stuff. I'm sure, like, you know, some of you guys did that as well. But just wrapping up, just before I do, just having a quick look at this supplement that came with it, because it is nice that this is still intact. 50 games reviewed, because obviously it's on 1992, the Game Boy had been out for a while, so it's just having a quick look. We've got that advert again for Special Reserve, and then we've got like all these quick small reviews there. DuckTales by Capcom, 81%. Just zoom in a little bit there. I'm only going to just choose a couple of these. They're actually in no actual order at all. See, like, it goes from B to D to B to F to S to H. This is just absolutely bonkers. Anyway, we've also got another Batman game up here. Again, highly rated. Just zooming out there so you can see like all these quick little reviews. It's like the back of a certain magazine that make up Super Nintendo that, you know, does like a little paragraph and it tells you a little bit about it. And then you've got all these other games here. So again, showing you Mario, Bomberman, I think it's Dino Blaster on this. Is it Mega Man there, 92%. So some really, really great games, you know, even in the very early years. And then what else have we got? Oh, Metroid 2 there. Just zoom in. Hang on. Not Metroid 2 there, sorry. 80% they gave that. So again, as just mentioned a few minutes ago, I was a massive fan of it. One of the biggest rated games that was there with Prince of Persia, 94%. So quite a high score there, definitely. And then you've just got Tetris. We've still reviewed it, obviously. It comes with your machine, 86%. Surely that should be higher. You know, it's an all-time classic. And let's just see what we gave Castlevania. 78% they gave Castlevania. And then just the last couple of pages, got an advert here for Console Mania, mail order company. And then on the last page, some, again, Game Boy games for sale from some of these different traders. Anyway, sorry, that's turned into quite a long video. So that's everything from me. I don't know if any of you guys actually bought GB Action back then. As I said, I have had a few issues with it over the years, but I think with this one, you know, being issue 1, it's one that I do want to get. I'm always out, you know, looking out for that first and last issue of magazines, you know, just see how a magazine began and obviously how it ended. Again, leave a comment, you know, question, everything like that, try and get it answered, and speak to you soon. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.